Hello everyone, how are we doing? Everyone having fun MINECON so far? Good, well we're so excited to be with you here today. This is the Minecraft Mentors, Support, and Resources panel. My name is Daniel Bingu. I work on the small team at Microsoft focused on building a new version of Minecraft called Minecraft Education Edition. And what we're trying to do is take the core version of Minecraft that you're used to playing on your phones, your PCs, your consoles, and add new features and resources to the game to make it easier for teachers to teach with in their classrooms and easier for students to learn and share and collaborate and all the other amazing things that we see when Minecraft is used in schools. So today we're going to talk mostly on the latter part of that, on some amazing resources we have, namely our Minecraft Mentors program. And I'm joined by an illustrious and all-knowing panelist here today, and we'll just go down the line and have you each say a little bit about yourselves.
All right, my name is Shane Asselstein. I'm based in Hawaii. I've been teaching for about 10 years using Minecraft for 4. I've used Minecraft to teach everything from social studies to mathematics to scientific experiments.
My name is Steve Isaacs. I teach game design and development at William Adams Middle School in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. I've been teaching 25 years, and for about the past 5, I've been using Minecraft pretty extensively. It turns out, as I've come to find, Minecraft is probably without being built as, it's probably the greatest game development platform because of the collaborative nature of Minecraft. So it's been really amazing to kind of, in a lot of ways, let my kids teach me a lot about Minecraft while I teach them about the game design process.
Hello, my name is Rafrance Davis, and I am from Texas. I'm my school district's executive director of professional and digital learning. I started playing Minecraft with my nephew. My 40th birthday actually happened in Minecraft. It was awesome. And in my school district, this is our second year, and actually first year going where every student will have access to Minecraft, every student in our school district. But I started our school district's Minecraft clubs that we started with 1 campus, and now we have 10 campuses, and then we also have a Minecraft student leadership team.
Hi, my name is Diane Main, and I am from north of here. Not exactly San Jose, but close to San Jose, California. I started using Minecraft in school about 4 years ago because I discovered it by accident that there was Minecraft being used in education, and a teacher had asked me if she was allowed to let a student submit a project done in Minecraft, and I said, sure. Now I'm going to go back to my office and find out what Minecraft is. Most of my job is supporting teachers, and when they want to try something new, I get to help them with that. That's what my title is all about. But I also teach a class in computer science. And so we've been using Minecraft in that class since I started at my school 4.5 years ago for just about anything you can imagine because I accidentally found the whole community and I fell in love with this as an educational tool right away.
Hi, my name is Stephen Reid and I am from Scotland, Edinburgh, Scotland, and I have been using Minecraft for 6 years, literally since there was no redstone or anything. It was a basic block building game. And I picked it up as part of a whole host of other games that I was using. I was using Tomb Raider back in 1996 to try and teach about the Egyptians. And it was funny because back then nobody was interested. Everyone was kind of like, you're mad, you're using games to teach. And fast forward, to now, and here we are. We have MINECON and we're sitting on a panel talking about exactly why more of us should be doing it. So I've kind of seen that evolution through, and I work mainly in professional development, working with teachers, museums, art galleries, charities, helping people to use Minecraft to create worlds and learning experiences that they want to be able to create, and I help them to do that.
Great. So we have a fantastic group of panelists here with us today across incredibly diverse subject matter expertise, experiences in Minecraft. And one of the things that our team has seen as we've sort of traveled the world meeting with teachers, meeting with students, is that it can be really tough to get started with Minecraft, especially if you don't have a background playing games. Maybe you have an environment in your classroom that isn't quite friendly enough for something like Minecraft and like something that is more technologically driven. So we started a mentor program in February of this year, and we asked this group of 5, in addition to 3 others who are unfortunately not with us today, Simon, Katya, and Nolene. Again, you can see a pretty amazing geographical diversity here to be our mentors and to help connect with those teachers that we were meeting with that were looking for some guidance, that were looking for a little bit of support and maybe a reassuring voice to help get started with their Minecraft journey to, of course, just start playing, but also then to integrate it into their curriculum, integrate it into their coursework. So we're going to hear little bits and pieces of each of our mentors' experiences so far, and hopefully we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. So what we've done here is just prepared a couple questions to sort of get us started, and we'll see where that takes us. So I want to start with our first question today, and I expect some pretty diverse and different answers here. Shane, we'll start with you. What does it mean to you to be a Minecraft mentor?
I guess for me, Minecraft Mentor was a great transition from what most of us are probably already doing, which was introducing people to the game, introducing what it can do for you, supporting them. They'd come up with ideas. Actually, I just had one just contact me, and she had this great idea about circuits, and so we went over her lesson, we talked about it, and she felt so much more confident in her lesson. You know, something that prior to the mentor program, we would have to go and search from our PLNs, our own personal friends that would use this and stuff like that. So to me, being a mentor gives people that single point of focus where we can come and get that kind of help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Shane's answer covers a lot. I've found, well, for one, you know, I was very honored to be asked to be a mentor. It's exciting to be, you know, among this group of educators that are actively using this game. So we've developed a great community over the years as it is. What's really cool now, though, is like Shane said, people are kind of able to find us, you know, and directly find us. So the way the mentor program works, people can go to the mentor site and literally just right there book and schedule a time to meet with us. And I've had some really neat experiences. I've been working with one teacher in India a couple of times so far, and with her, she, you know, it's her and the whole class, and we'll talk about, and it's fascinating to see that, which was a big surprise to me, the game is not all that big, you know, in India. When she started, it was like she had not even really heard about it, but because they use other Microsoft products, it was brought to their attention. So she was super excited to get involved, and these are, you know, a lot of educators that are not, you know, a lot of us probably were playing games and were really, you know, excited about bringing that in. A lot of the people that are coming now are hearing about the power of games and learning, and they want to get involved without necessarily being gamers or having that context or background. So it's really neat to be able to support them, you know, in that endeavor.
I would say for me, it was probably more telling through Facebook. I'm connected to a lot more educators on Facebook, and I kept getting these private messages from people that I'd never heard of in my entire life. And they were all like teachers that were not from the US who wanted help with Minecraft. And so we tried to send a few of to send them through like the system to kind of go and choose times, but it ended up just working out that we just kind of connected then. And for me, it was just kind of cool to be able to be a part of a program where you get to be someone that people can go to when they need help. But even more so when I get contacted by school superintendents or tech directors who want to know more about Minecraft, because for me, when the teacher wants to do it and we can help them, great. But when we can also get a superintendent or a tech director on board, that means more kids get access. And so I think, I mean, for that reason alone, I may or may not have cried when they asked me to be a Minecraft mentor. Just gonna say that.
You know, Refrance describes a little bit of the evangelist role in a way. And I hadn't been thinking about that initially, but I do find that a lot of times that's a role that I find myself in as well. Knowing how intimidated I felt when I first wanted to try using Minecraft, in the education space, I know that I was really grateful, as I mentioned before, for the community that I was able to draw from and who helped me. And still, I mean, if I have questions about certain specific technical aspects, I may not know all of that. That you don't need all that necessarily to be a Minecraft mentor. You need to know where to go get those answers and to help people connect with the information they need. It's more about helping a teacher who says, I want to do this because I know this is where my kids are at. I know this is something that they're learning a ton about already and know really well. And it's helping me to reach, or it would help me to reach more of my students that the traditional methods we use in education over the past centuries, it's not reaching them, it's not working for them. And I have a personal stake in that. as a parent of a student with some special needs. And so it helps me feel like I'm being able to connect people to a tool that will really help them a lot with working with their students.
And for me, it's verification. It means verification for me because, like I said earlier, I thought I was going mad, and everyone told me you're using games in classrooms, and in 1996, and you're never going to make a business. And actually, admittedly, on 2 occasions in running my own business, I did struggle, and I moved back in with my parents. I lost 2 properties. These are the risks you take when you run a business. And then, several years later, I'm asked to be a Minecraft mentor. It's actually a title. People do that. It's real, and those people are us. And it's pride and it's verification that actually games as tools for learning they work. It works. It's a real thing. And as a result, a community of people have got together. We've put ourselves into a system where we become Minecraft mentors to anyone in the world who needs us. And, I sound like the Avengers. It's brilliant. We'll just get our capes on. But it's a wonderful thing. And actually, I've been doing some work with, Steve mentioned some people that he's been working with in India. I've had calls from Botswana. I've had calls from, I'm working with a girl just now in Israel. And it's basic stuff. I say it's basic stuff. To me, as having used it for 6 years, it's basic stuff. But for her, it's the beginning of the journey. And it's the big first step. And I just my duty is to help her to do that. Because if I don't, then that verification I was talking about, it doesn't exist. It's not there. So that's what it means to me.
That's great. So we're incredibly fortunate to have these 5 mentors with us today, and the 3 that couldn't be with us today as part of a formal Minecraft Mentors program. But just like Minecraft, the game itself, the education version of the game, is still very much driven by the community, and we have mentors of all backgrounds, of all expertise levels, of all locations. So it takes many different forms other than the 8 that we have as part of this formal program. If you want to check out the program while we're speaking to you today, if you go to education.minecraft.net, which is our main website, and click on the resources tab, we have a Minecraft Mentors button right in front and center on that page, and you can read a little more about each one of our mentors and actually connect with them over Skype and schedule some time to have these really, really powerful conversations. So our next question that I want to touch on is, I think, something that's top of mind, probably not just for teachers, but for a lot of parents who are looking to get started with Minecraft. So the question is, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to integrate Minecraft into your classroom and use it as a learning tool? Stephen, I'll start with you maybe on the end.
Yeah, my advice is always twofold on this one. Whenever somebody calls me on Skype or emails me or something, say, where do I start? I say 2 things, and that can be, I work with a lot of parents as well as teachers, and my advice is always this: start small. And I'm talking small steps and small projects, because you get some people phone up and say, right, I want to build New York. It's kind of like, yeah, let's start with a post office or something. Start small, and also meet whichever context you're with children in, whether it's you're a parent of a child or you're a teacher of children. Meet them halfway and let them be part of your learning process, and start small. So don't start with Redstone, start with building a shed. I mean, seriously, that small. I mean, I work with teachers, and we do this in or a house or something. We do this with teachers in the courses that we run, and we get the teacher and we say, build the first layer, then build the second layer, and then to get to the third layer, you have to either build a framework or you have to fly, and they go, oh, and then they do it, and then they put they put the lid on the lid. They put the
Roof.
They put the roof on. They pop the they pop the windows in. Yeah, in Scotland we have lids because we live in tubs, and then they pop the door on, and we've had grown teachers squealing and clapping because they've made a house. Now that's marvelous, because I make it sound as if, hey, it was just a house, but it's like I said earlier, to them it's the big first step for them, and that's going to revolutionise if they continue and they play it the way it needs to be played. It can revolutionise what they're about to do as parents or teachers going on 4 or 5 years from now. So yeah, start small and let the children be part of your learning process.
I definitely immediately grabbed the microphone, because my first advice to any teacher or a parent who wants to understand more what their child is involved in, is definitely play the game. And like Steven said, be willing to go in there and make a mess of it and die a bunch of times, or play in creative mode for a while and just kind of get a sense for what it's like. I've done workshops where I've taught teachers, and almost always it's people who have never used it at all before. And first of all, they talk about the struggle and they're like, wow, this is like kind of hard to learn. And then I say, yeah, and these kids in your class who maybe don't do well academically by the other means that we use to measure them are seriously kicking butt in this game. So you could learn a lot from them. So I definitely want to piggyback on what Steven said. Get in there and play, experience the struggles of what it's like to play this game, and start to see, once you're in the game, you start to see all these ways it could be used to teach. Whereas when you're hearing about it or seeing some, article on the internet or report on the news and it says, video games this or Minecraft that, it doesn't give you a sense of what the game can really be about. You play it and all of a sudden you start thinking, oh, I get it now. I see how this could be used. And teachers start to get excited and they start calling out things in the workshop that they're going to do with their kids. Oh, I could use it for this. And they get really excited and then I get excited. It's very rewarding.
So I have two parts to this story. The first one is from a parent perspective. I have a younger nephew, and he's the one that taught me to play. And when he would go to school, his teachers would put a note on their homework, don't play Minecraft when you go home, to do their homework, get all these things done, but she literally put not to play Minecraft. And that was every single day of going home. So when he struggled in school, I actually used Minecraft at home as a parent as a means of working with him on concepts. That's where he learned about biomes, which was really cool to see that in the exhibit area. He worked on biomes and different elements of science and physics and history. We would do church projects in Minecraft that he never even considered making those connections. So as a parent, I use Minecraft as an opportunity to make learning come alive with my kid. But getting it into schools is a different story because there is a cost involved. So one thing you can do as a parent, if you have a parent-teacher organization, first off, you can advocate through your school board for getting it, but you can also sponsor a classroom through a parent-teacher organization. And even connecting the teachers to one of us or whomever, or like we actually brought our students in to work with our teachers to teach them how to play Minecraft. So as a parent, you can start some of those things. You can start that movement even when the school isn't there yet. If you're willing to take that step and sponsor that initiative, your school will be more than open to do it unless they are full of people who say don't play Minecraft. So I mean, those pieces are definitely important. And then as the parent, the teacher part, like Steven said, it was his session that, I was already bought in, but it was that part about where we started with just start with building a house. It literally unlocked a bunch of aha with me, even when working with teachers, because when we come together, we don't sit and say, hey, let's learn how to do science with Minecraft. Let's learn how to do math with Minecraft. We start them with build a house, build a dwelling. That would be kind of the way to say it. That's where we start, and then it changes the conversation entirely.
I like that Franz brought up the idea of the PTO. When I first wanted to bring in Minecraft, that was the route I took. I asked the PTO for 25 licenses, and they were willing and helped out, and that really got us started. But one of the things I find so interesting about this game is that Minecraft did not come with an instruction manual. So all of the resources that people are using to learn this game are found online. You might have noticed there are just a few YouTube videos that show you how to do stuff in Minecraft and all that. I try to bring teachers to those resources and let them see what's available out there because it's authentic learning. It's how our kids are learning. My daughter, I watch her at home. When she wants to learn something and she goes out and finds those resources, she learns it. So when I'm teaching or working with teachers, I'll point to those real resources. When you want to craft something, there are recipes. There are wikis that have all the recipes for you. So it's no longer that I have to teach them, this is how you make a pickaxe, this is how you make a shovel. Let's go find out how to make the pickaxe and the shovel, So that's been really powerful for me. And there, we were talking before about Paul Soares has a video, surviving your first night. That is like the rite of passage in Minecraft to survive your first night. And that video has taught probably, well, maybe all of us, I don't know, it taught me. And it taught a lot of my teachers and things. So it's just so neat to see, the real, like, and again, if we do it that way, the teachers quickly realize that everything they ever want is out there. So that's been working, for me.
If I could just add to the research part. I was having a discussion with a teacher a while back who said to me, I just don't understand it. She said, I don't get this. They watch stuff on Minecraft, and on YouTube, and then they go off and they do it in Minecraft, and then they watch something else and they do that too. And I said to her, that's the learning process, right? It's like, what are you complaining about? And once I broke it down for her and showed her that if you just get out of the mindset that it's a computer game, you wouldn't complain if a child was watching tennis techniques, then practicing them. So why Minecraft?
Or watching you demonstrate math and then copy that.
And then copying it, exactly. So that was interesting. Steve brought that up because I've bumped into that a few times where that process, that learning process, is not recognized because it's Minecraft. It's really important.
Imagine if they grabbed a textbook and went home and
I know.
came back.
Then it would be okay.
So I don't know what to say because all these guys took all the great answers, but I guess for me, incorporating this as a teacher, as a learning tool, definitely start slow, start beginning, build something familiar. One of my first things I build with my kids is to build a classroom or a house or something they know, right? Something they can actually take measurements of, things like that. I love what Stephen said about integrating it with the kids. So again, when I first started as a teacher, your best resource, to be honest, I couldn't put it up here because your best resource is an 8 to 12-year-old student that is sitting around going, I'd love to teach you Minecraft, but you don't want to listen. Stop, eat lunch with them, have them show you what to do. You will find out that kid that was sitting in the back of the classroom never talks, will not stop talking. He will just blah, 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 blah. And then tomorrow he'll come back the next day and go, by the way, did you know you could do this, Stephen? Did you know you could do that? He will continually start opening up to you. And it's amazing to watch that transformation in our students.
That's some great advice. Do we have any teachers in the room? Oh, great.
Bravo.
Great turnout, yeah. Thank you for coming. So definitely have a chat with all of our mentors. We're also running, if you haven't seen it, we're running sessions in room 201C, which is, I think, almost just right below us. Stephen is hosting sort of just an open exploration of Minecraft's Education Edition and just a general introduction to Minecraft and learning. It's a really great opportunity with some help and some supervision to get into Minecraft, to build your house, to survive your first night, and to start to really just get comfortable with the controls, and you'll start to, at least in my personal experience, a light bulb will turn on pretty quickly, and suddenly it snowballs from there. So check out room 201. We're running sessions at the top of every hour, except for this hour since we pulled Stephen over here, just downstairs. So I want to transition a little bit into more of, since we have some good number of teachers in the room, the conversation you start to have with maybe your faculty, maybe your school leadership, maybe other teachers that are a bit skeptical of adopting Minecraft in the classroom. What are some of the things that you focused on to have a productive conversation and ultimately end up using Minecraft in your schools?
I was waiting for the slide. Sorry. So one of the things that I usually begin a workshop with when I'm working with teachers is I introduce them to some of the research on the matter of engagement and how games can be very, very engaging. And let's face it, would you rather play a game or listen to a lecture? You would rather play a game. And we have there's this known concept of flow, which is when, like, whatever you love to do, some of you maybe brought your kids to MINECON, so maybe playing Minecraft isn't your thing, but whatever you love to do, one of the things for me is researching family history. I can spend hours. My husband will come in and ask me if I'm planning to eat this week. I just get lost, right? I'm super into it. I keep like getting a new challenge and, I just want to get one level farther, right? So we see that happening in gameplay, especially with Minecraft because it is so open-ended. So I really encourage teachers to look at some of the research around gaming in education that James Paul G. and Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, I've really struggled with his name, but that's the guy who came up with the concept of flow. Like all these people that are bringing gaming into the classroom, it's based on research. It's not just, hey, we notice kids like this, right? There's real actual research. Apparently it's pretty rocking outside, so
And I would say for me, so I joined my school district last year, and Minecraft was something that they would have never done in a million years. And I'm one of those weird people that says, let's just do it, and they all look at me. So for me, it honestly started with kids. I walked into a music class, and I believe these were all fifth graders, and it was a room full of them. And I said, in front of the group that were with me, I said, out of nowhere, who plays Minecraft? and the kids screamed so loud that we had to walk out of the room and cover our ears. And that was day one of school. So that was kind of our jump into the conversation on why we needed to bring it and what benefit it would have. The initial start for our teachers in our schools, they were open to doing it after school, but when I said, no, we're going to use this in actual lessons, they were waiting on me to kind of point that direction as to how. And I mean, and honestly, that's where it started with kids. I also knew that if I didn't get them playing the game and actually building and not trying to work on curriculum, just build, just play, just learn. We're not even going to talk about what happens in a lesson or how this impacts test scores, because heaven forbid we don't have that conversation. Then if we started with that, we would have lost all of them. But as soon as they kind of dropped the titles and everybody became builders, inventors, architects, it allowed us to have deeper conversations as to why we wanted to do it. I mean, I'll be honest, my school district has a person like me, much like any of these other school districts that have any of us in our school districts. If you have someone in a position to make that decision, it's a lot easier because I'm already in. But not everybody has that. So the bigger piece, I think, is I always say that if you let the students lead, the rest of us will follow. If you get students playing, and even if you build events around starting at a ground level and then bring your teachers into it and invite your school board members, and if you have like an educational foundation in your community, invite them to kind of accidentally and let them see it, we will have the conversation, I guarantee you.
Mm-hmm. If I could come in there, I come in it from a slightly different perspective because I come from the outside. I'm a consultant coming into education. So I see this all over the world, Lithuania, Germany, the United States, lots and lots of teachers who would love to. There's one teacher in the school who would love to, but doesn't know how to approach it, or has said, there's somebody nodding, you'd love to, but you're not able to. Because you take it, and they go, like I went through for all those years, people go, why would we do that? And then you find yourself looking for that. So the first thing is, remember, we're here, okay? Microsoft are supporting you directly through the Minecraft Mentors, and we can Skype with you, we can email with you, we'll gladly help you to do that. The second thing is, start with a club. Yeah. Start with a lunchtime club or an after-school club, and you will get very enthusiastic kids. And if you structure that club correctly, if you do it in such a way that you can produce resources from that club with evidence of children's learning, and then you put that on the desk. You put that on someone's desk whose job it is to make the decision, and defy them to say no, because it's like, here's what we've been doing on school grounds, outside of school time, and this is still what we managed to achieve. I would like more space to do that. And in the advice that I've been given when I go into schools to teachers to do that, they almost always come back to me 3-4 months later. It might be a slow process, but they come back to me 3-4 months later and say, we're in. We've got it in 3 classrooms, or we've got it in 1 IT suite. It's brilliant. And it works. So, Start your own thing, learn to play the game, get it into a club, develop your own portfolio of resources, and remember, we're here to help you do that. I'll gladly make an entire lesson with you that you can run with a class based on a subject you know that is going to have an impact in the school. We'll develop it, we'll design it together, we'll run it, well, you run it as part of a club, and then take that as evidence. Evidence really hits hard.
I think back to when I started using Minecraft, and it was this thought that I had that was like, okay, so I was a little hesitant. One of my thoughts was, well, the kids talk about it, they know it. I don't really know this game. But then it occurred to me, if this game is so meaningful to these kids, there's so much power in that as a learning tool. So the relevance of this game, forced me to think beyond that and really consider bringing it in. Another thing that I think is really effective is when a kid asks another teacher, hey, can I, this assessment I have to do where I have to, give this example of how this or that, happened in history. Can I do it in Minecraft and show you what I did? And, that's taking the pressure a little out of it, because the kid's going and doing that and then bringing that in as, a way of showing their understanding of something. That's really powerful. And then, I've had so many teachers then come to me and say, hey, this kid asked if I could do this, and, I said yes, and it came out so great, and, this and that. So there are just so many ways to, kind of like what you're saying with the club, is like sprinkle it in a little, test the waters a little, and then let the evidence speak for itself.
Yeah, the homework's a great one. Let them do it on their, as homework, and then when they bring it into you, there's a portfolio of stuff. It's like, here's how my children are evidencing their learning of the hydroelectric water system or ancient Egypt. And you know, people might not like that it's in Minecraft, but you can't deny the evidence. The children know what they're talking about.
I was fortunate enough that my boss, when I asked her if I could use Minecraft in the classroom, and she said, "You want to use what? World of Warcraft?" I said, "Sure." I settled for Minecraft. But after that first year, when I showed her the evidence of the students designing a zoo and applying the math that they were learning in class into the Minecraft lessons, or writing stories, or creating scientific experiments in Minecraft, the first thing she did was actually ask her boss if we could have a meeting of all the principals to show this off and have the students present it. And having the students present that was so powerful that the principal was like, okay, well, the CAS was asking, you know, well, how old are these kids? And I said, well, they range from 8 to 12 years old. Oh, and what do they do if there's a conflict between what they want to do in a group? Well, they discuss it and then they make a decision. But they're only 8. I'm like, yes, imagine if you guys could do that. So the evidence was right there in front of them. The kids were presenting their own work. They understood exactly why they made design decisions when they did certain things. You cannot argue that once you see that evidence. And I would venture a guess that there are hundreds of evidence, based things that we have out there. Steven's got everyone on this panel's got some great worlds, great examples of how it's been used in the classroom. Use what we did in pioneering this for you guys as evidence to get it into your classrooms, because the evidence is there. Plus, then create your own evidence showing that it can be done in your classroom. And there's, like Steven said, there's no way anybody could say no to you. There's no way.
I want to add one more thing on getting it in your classroom, because licensing is fun, and it is not as simple as, hey, I want to use Minecraft, and someone's going to write the check and do the licensing just like that. So here's a really neat way to do it and how we did it last year. We started with a Minecraft club on devices using the PE. And I kid you not, that's what started the conversation. It was taking those devices into first grade classrooms, second grade classrooms, fourth grade classrooms, middle school, high school classrooms, for them to actually see it when you talk about evidence, in order for us to get to the next step and justify doing that. Or else I couldn't even say that, hey, we're going to do this on all of our campuses. Had we not just taken the leap of faith and bought the apps for the devices, which, I mean, to start, they're like $6.99 a piece, and I know that that's not education edition, but if you really want to get started and you want to be able to do it while you wait on the red tape to be cut, that's what you do.
And there's also bring your own device as well. I run a lot of sessions where I say to the kids, bring whatever device you've got. If they've all got the same device, great, PC, Mac, whatever. But they might just bring in some of them bring in mobile phones, and they're amazing at it. They're like building stuff on a mobile phone. I can't do that. But I don't need to be able to do that. I just need to be able to facilitate what I want them to do that day. They can do it on whatever platform they want.
More great advice.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do another audience participation here. For our teachers in the room, has anyone not played Minecraft yet? No shame whatsoever. Okay, we have looks like one. That's right. We're gonna get you up to speed. So once upon a time, our mentors were also in the very similar position where they had not played Minecraft before. So our next question is related to that. We've touched on a couple great pieces that some of our teachers listening at home can go back and do, and I think a Minecraft club is one of those great examples. But thinking back to your first steps with Minecraft all those years ago, what was the most valuable piece for you that helped you get started with that journey in your classroom?
I could take this one. So I was nervous about bringing it in. I didn't know the game so well. I have a really good friend, Marian Malmstrom. You might know her as, well, she's No Clue is her Twitter handle. But I had met her.
With a K.
With a K, thank you, Knowclue. But she, I view her as like a mentor for me in this area, because when I was hesitant about how I was gonna, how do I start this? I teach game design. I had heard people make these things called adventure maps. I'm like, okay, I'll have every kid make an adventure map. She, really opened my eyes to the fact that I don't have to, lead that part of the process so much. Let go of that. Let the kids, they're the experts in this, and that's okay. What I've totally come to realize is, my expertise is in teaching the game design process. If a kid could come in with an expertise in using Minecraft and apply the process that I'm giving them, they're going to make a game so much better than something that they have no context with and have to learn, from scratch. So that was amazing. And then the overall community of educators that were using Minecraft has been absolutely tremendous. Like when I was trying to first, get it, and I reached out to, people like Joel Levin, created the original Minecraft EDU, and he was just so accessible. I've never met a more generous group of people than educators passionate about game-based learning. So, reach out. I mean, it's like there are people there that are so excited and want you on this path, that they're out there and use that. That's worked for me.
I'm going to jump in with the first resource actually we have on the resource list, which is a video series, family friendly, meaning he does not use any foul language. He actually plays with his kids and his wife online, and it's Paul Suarez Jr.'s Thrive and Survive video series. Now, it's kind of intimidating when you look at it now because he's got something like 198 videos in the series, but just know that each video he goes through everything it takes to just, hey, I got dumped in the middle of this world, what do I do? He takes you through every single step of it. So much, it's chunked so well that it made it really easy to breeze into that. So that's what I would suggest.
Yeah, I was going to say that the community definitely was my absolute first, most valuable resource because I am a people person anyway, so when I'm struggling with something or when something's new to me, I want to have other people around me, whether they're like literally sitting next to me or someone I can contact online. And that's just been a part of my professional development. I've been teaching for more than 20 years that I always go to. But the community, as you know, around Minecraft, I mean, just look around at MINECON, there's this amazing, strong, thriving community of people that are excited about sharing what they're doing. And I had put on the list of resources Adam Clark's 101 Ideas for Minecraft Learners, right around when I started thinking, okay, I need to go and watch some videos. This was before he was the Wizard Keen. I went and I this is actually the story that led to their collaboration. I went and watched when Adam created When Stampy Came to Tea. And then he created the video to show how he made the sets that, like in Minecraft, that he used for the filming. And I was so thrilled and fascinated by the process as well as the product that I really admired it a lot. So I started watching a bunch of his other videos. And not only are there the 101 Ideas for Minecraft Learners, some of which I immediately took and started using concepts from myself. There was this whole series on just like we're going to start playing, and he and his son would play, and I would watch and think, oh, I've never done that in Minecraft. I think I should go and try that myself. And it made me feel like, okay, I can do this. It's something that's new to me, but I can do this. And there's just so many resources like that, no matter what level a person is at when they approach this game, there's always something new. And even like when we were in Denver at a conference in late June, Stephen showed me how to, well, he was showing everyone else how to do something, but I was in the room and I went, ooh, and I got an idea and I thought, oh, I'm gonna build on that, I'm gonna add to that, I'm gonna make it my own. So that by the end of the conference, I was like, Stephen, come see the thing I made, right? And you see the kids are like that. They were like that in a session I did earlier. So I just think, find the stuff that works for you, and there's so much content out there. There's gonna be someone whose style and whose voice and whose ways really appeal to you.
And for me, all of those things and more, but most specifically the kids, because I was in way back at the beginning. It was difficult to find like-minded people. Sort of 6 years ago, it was. I didn't know you could reach out to Australia, and somebody somewhere out in Australia would be doing the same as I was doing. And you kind of, we were the early adopters, the founding fathers, so kind of fumbling our way through it. But actually we weren't, because every time I turned a corner, a kid would say, "Oh, you don't do it like that. You do it like this." And I'd say, "All right." And then I'd say, "Why is my minecart not working?" And some kid in the class would go, "You haven't powered it." And I'd be like, "All right." And just constantly learning from children, because they picked it up. They were the early adopters. They picked it up, when it was originally on the internet in the first place. So, and of course that's become a badge of honor for some kids. Some kids are what they call the alphas. And then you get some kids that are like, "Yeah, I started playing when it was version 1.3, and then you get some kid next to him going, "Well, I was an alpha." And it's like, okay, they were alphas. And that's great though, because that's their badge of honor. They've been playing it for years. And actually, if you think about that in terms of the rate at which games are churned out at the moment. You know, you got a Call of Duty once every 6 months. Why? Because it's not that playable. Because you play it for a couple of months, and then, if that, and then you drop it. You get kids that are like, yeah, I finished Call of Duty in 3 hours, and that's it. It's not that playable. And then you've got some kids that are still playing Minecraft 6 years later. That is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. So yeah, for me, if you know, my journey would not be what it is today if it wasn't for 6, 7, and 8-year-old kids pointing at screens and telling me what I was doing wrong.
I'm just going to say what all of them said, because clearly for me it started with my nephew, who he may have been 9 at the time, 8, I don't even know anymore. But that's may have been where it started. And then just my own interest of getting into play. I have ADHD, and it is incredibly difficult for me to focus on a lot of different things, especially when it requires reading. Sitting to read something for a long period of time, and especially when they're blogs of instructions, are not the easiest thing. But I can watch a snippet of a video and then jump into the game and learn how to do something. Or my nephew reminding me that is not what I said, at least 10 times, because it happens, reminding me to do something. And then actually talking to, I have kids that don't really talk in school and haven't spoken that much to their teachers, but the minute you mention Minecraft, or they think they see a Minecraft anything, they won't stop talking. And that honestly is probably the best places where I learn, and probably having some of their same issues sometimes, especially when it comes to focusing, probably helps us to even have those conversations further. But the community is great and wonderful. I am terrible at reading blogs. That's not going to change, because I can't help that. But the short snippets of videos and a quick message here or there definitely helps me, for sure.
Yeah. If I could just add, you were saying the kids that don't speak. There's a wonderful educator back in the UK who works with children with real social issues and life difficulties. And she had an elective mute little girl who hadn't spoken for 3 years. And they got her on Minecraft, and she started speaking. She just started, because out of necessity, she needed to ask another child for some wool. I think that was how it started. And she just turned to the other kid and said, "Can I have some wool?" And the teacher was in tears, because she said it was that moment where some sort of force had driven her to come out of the situation in her mind that she was in and in her heart that she was in, and that force was facilitated by Minecraft. If it wasn't Minecraft itself, it was certainly facilitated by the child's need to be part of the Minecraft process, and that's some seriously powerful stuff.
That's amazing. So we have time for one more question, and then we'll turn it over to the audience for Q&A.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about the past, which is great. A lot of really amazing things have happened in the past. Let's talk about the future to close on that. So I'm curious, what are you most excited about, either in your personal continued journey with Minecraft, or what are you most excited about for the growing community of Minecraft educators around the world?
I will start on this one. I'm just going to say I have never been more inspired than walking into the exhibit hall and seeing all of the biomes. And so my mind went to, oh my God, we have cardboard boxes, and we have wrapping paper, and we have tape, duct tape, and we have markers. We are totally going to make this when we get back. And so I'm sitting there talking to someone. They go, "Oh, are you writing yourself a note to remind you to do it?" I said, "No, I'm sending someone a message at school saying, find a date, we're doing this." So I'm really excited about that part. I'm also extremely excited about Education Edition coming out. My school district is probably, we're not terrible. I would say we're worst case scenario in my mind. We don't have student devices. Our students, a lot of them don't have their own mobile devices. And so being able to provide that at school on our broken down computers while we're building up is pretty amazing, that this version of it can work on our computer systems where the other version did not. So the door had just really opened up tremendously to that effect. So I look forward to really having our students kind of lead this movement, but then also connecting them with like your class and the servers you have, and definitely you. Can we do a one-to-one lesson thing? Because I was like, I want to do that. I get to use mentors too. So I look forward to just taking this and the same energy that I felt in the opening ceremonies. I know that, well, I already know it exists in my school. Hello, walked into the room and they're yelling, but that's a whole nother story. I look forward to that, but I look forward to our community growing and more schools doing this as well.
So I'm also very excited for the potential and the growth that I think Minecraft can have in the education space, because I know that it works. I've used it just personally with my own son for different things that he was struggling with conceptually, and it really did kind of open doors for him. But, you know, for all this time that I've been very involved in Minecraft and education, I'm still the only person at my pretty well-resourced private independent school that uses it. And I've tried it with a few teachers, and it's been sort of like, yes, but when will we find the time? And I'm like, there will come a time when you have no other time to find. It's like, this is the way we're going to do it. But I don't get to just force people to use it. But I have had some people come and approach me now, and they're like, I want to hear more about this. I realize that this is a direction we need to be moving. So my counterpart, I work at our upper school, which is our high school, 9 through 12. My counterpart at the middle school, it has said, like, we want to get this on the middle school devices, which are school-owned, and previously Minecraft was not allowed. So now he's been asking me, Minecraft Education Edition, that would be something that we could access differently, and it wouldn't be as scary to the administration, worrying what the kids are going to be doing with it. They're going to be off doing amazing stuff with it, whether that was assigned or not. That's not really the problem. But the most exciting thing for me, and this is totally on a personal level, is right before this school year started, my son's current math teacher, before he was his math teacher, came up to me at a performance over the summer and said, I really want to sit down and talk with you about using Minecraft in this math class. And it's the math class that my son is in, and that's his subject he struggles with more than anything. And so I'm excited about the possibilities of just kind of coaching some people locally where I am. And I've sat down with friends who are teachers in a coffee shop and said, look at some things you could do, let's just play together. And then they're like, okay, I'm going back to my school and we're going to find out how we're going to make this happen. So I'm excited about that, seeing that spark in teachers' eyes, but knowing that this could personally impact my own child at school. So I realize that's very personal, it doesn't affect all of you, but I think for every one of those little fires we can light is a good one.
Can I? Yep. Well, okay. So for me, it's
Very chatty.
there's a number of things. The first is, and I say this because I'm aware that not everyone in the room is a teacher, and so we're talking to parents as well, is for me, Minecraft has and is the first tool in a long, long time that has the potential to genuinely change the education system for the better. And I think, I'm going to say it out loud, it's not in a great place and it needs to change. There's lots of great people in it, but the system itself needs to change. And Minecraft is one of the first tools, and I hope it doesn't stand alone, but it is one of the first tools that's powerful enough to exact that kind of change with the right people behind it and the right number of people behind it. And by that change, what I mean is learning environments in particular, and this is why I'm talking to parents as well. The human mind, the human brain is not made up of corridors and classrooms. We don't separate geography in our head. We don't separate science. The sciences are all mixed up, and actually science is geography, and geography is history, because that's the way the world works. But we have this classroom system, this archaic classroom system where children walk down a corridor at the sound of a bell to go to geography, and then they go to another classroom to learn mathematics. And actually, Minecraft is like the human mind in that respect. You can learn anything and everything at once in that learning environment. And if that's true of the digital realm of Minecraft, then why not true of and I know I'm talking bigger picture here, but what if one day we just don't have the same school structural systems? What if we don't have the same school buildings? Who's to say that? And I'm not talking about like kids with VR on and that's the way that we learn alone, but there must be other ways of doing this. I give an example of a guy, a teacher in Scotland, who couldn't get his kids to read, a particular group of boys to read. And over the summer, he had a little rowboat which he used to take out, and he decided to retire it. And rather than just get rid of it, he had it cleaned up, he had it painted, and he had it brought into his classroom. And he put it in the corner, put it at a slight angle, and filled it with cushions. And within the first few weeks of the children being back, those boys were top of the reading class because they competed to get into the boat. But the deal was, if you sit in the boat, you have to read a book. So they competed with the girls and everyone else to get into the boat, and they got into the boat and they read stories. If we can change the way that we see those learning environments, and Minecraft helps us to do that, then that's what I think we should do. And the second thing, very briefly, is just exactly as the guys have said, the growth in community. I think if you will all join us, and as teachers and as parents, and you will help other people to join us, then that movement becomes more and more and more realized. It becomes real. And Minecraft today, who knows what tomorrow, but join us.
Just what he said reminded me, if you look up the current research that's just emerging right now by Jo Boaler at Stanford University, Boaler, and Jo is just J-O. She's built on the work of Carol Dweck and the work with mindsets. There is a lot of research out there that really pushes us to do what Stephen's describing and change our learning spaces and change the way we approach everything about education. But of course, Boaler's work focuses on mathematics. If you look up mathematical mindsets, that's her most recent book. We don't learn math the way we've always had math done to us. We learn math by experiencing real problem-solving situations. And that is like prime example of what you can do with Minecraft. While we were waiting to come down here and the plane was delayed in the airport, my son was building, I believe it was a movie set, but I'm not really sure. But he was doing a lot of math really quickly in his mind and counting out things and coming up with patterns for the way he wanted it to look. But he also brought his math homework with him, which we have gotten 3 problems through since we've been down here. But then again, Disneyland, so.
So, yeah, a couple things for me. One is, so my 8th graders, I teach an elective class in 8th grade that's a full semester, and then a 7th grade class that's a cycle class, so it's only 6 weeks. Last year, in the past, I hadn't used Minecraft in that 7th grade class. Last year, I piloted it kind of for kids who had their own account, because it worked out if they could bring their own account, and I had a handful of accounts other kids could use. This year, we're licensing, Minecraft, the Education Edition, for our entire 7th grade. So I'm super excited that every 7th grader, has that truly as an option this year for that project. That project is a game design and digital storytelling project, so they're creating a story and a game to tell the story, and Minecraft is a tremendous tool for that. And not only that, the fact that every 7th grader will have it, puts me in a position where I can now reach out to our 7th grade faculty and let them know that all the students have it. So that's exciting. And then on a quick other note, one of the things I'm really excited about recently is esports and competitive gaming in schools. And we're looking really strongly at Minecraft, especially as a great introductory game. It's a younger crowd. It's such a great game to use to get kids started. And the competitive elements are there in so many ways, whether it be the building challenges or the PvP type games. But it's neat to kind of bring that in as a true competitive piece and see where the kids go with that.
Okay, I got to one-up these guys. So I got 3 things I'm excited about. One is I'm excited to see the change in my kids and my own lessons, starting from lessons where you consider yourself on that substitution level. I feel like I've moved my own classroom and my kids up to maybe that redefinition. Changing the way that the lessons are being taught. The other thing is too, I have teachers just like Diane was saying, starting to come to me saying, they come back and they're always talking about your class, and they're always talking about what they did, and how do I get some of that? Where you've got to come in and pay attention. And the third one is, and I'm not sure if it was the 2 gentlemen at the back right now, but I was sitting at the opening ceremonies, and I had at least an entire row of YouTubers behind me. And one of the things they asked me when they found out I was a teacher on the panel, they said, so you need any help? Yes. If you're willing to come help my kids, I am, by all means, I would take the help from those YouTubers. You guys are so much a part of their lives. I would love to see you come into the classroom virtually, or actually, if anybody of you live in Hawaii. And just talk to them about some of this stuff, some of the stuff that you guys are doing. So
There
I
should be
applaud
a
you guys.
volunteer program, because we
There
would
you go.
all tap into that. Our kid, seriously,
now.
they're the ones that are teaching our kids. Teaching literally. Let's just make that happen.
I'm excited to see what that looks like. So obviously we have a wealth of resources and experience with this group here. Come and see us after the panel wraps today. We have sessions all week, and if you haven't already, this is the website I referenced, education.minecraft.net. Click resources, and you'll see the link to the mentor program right there, and you can find time to chat with any of our mentors wherever you live in the world, which is pretty powerful. So let's give a round of applause to our panelists. And we have a couple minutes for Q&A, so does anyone, looks like we have one already, awesome. You want to come up to them? Can you?
Can you come up to the microphone up here?
Yeah,
And
so
ask-
the-
or there's one there too. I think there's one there that side.
Good lad.
There you go.
Go on.
Aw, yeah, I like his shirt.
There we go.
I was just wondering if they were going to add any Education Edition exclusive items or something like that to help them learn.
Can we say anything?
We're bringing new education-specific features into the game, but we want to have a consistent experience across all platforms. So not just Education Edition, but also the Windows 10 edition and the PC Java edition. We're trying to move towards a future where they're all at what we call parity, where they're essentially the same experience regardless of where you're playing.
Okay.
Have you played the Education Edition yet?
No.
Oh, because there are some features unique to that edition. Currently, there's a camera that you can use to take pictures throughout the game. There's a map that you can use. There are a lot of build tools. There's
Portfolio.
a portfolio,
Portfolio
so
of
you
pictures.
can take your pictures out and use them for other things.
Custom NPCs.
Yep.
Yeah, there are NPCs.
Built-in
There's actually quite a bit. So it's always interesting because it's funny, we often hear Education Edition and people think, oh no, it's not going to be Minecraft. It's actually, the better way to describe it is it's Minecraft, it's the Windows 10 edition plus more features.
Some stuff,
You
yeah.
know?
Cool stuff.
Good question.
Another one?
Yeah.
We've got
Feel
two.
free just to come on up to the mic if you have questions.
Yeah, let's form a wee queue.
There's a line
Hi,
And start emailing
we're
us.
friends. I'm from Texas too. Hey, y'all. But I live in Costa Rica, and this is part of my problem. That's a problem. The
We will come
Education
out and help you in
Edition-
Costa Rica.
Yes, please come
Yeah,
down.
we'll do that. We'll do that.
The kids are really into it. I've had a successful after-school clubs. We've done a couple of vacation camps. Once those are through, the parents are sold. I'm having a really hard time with administration. So I've taken some notes on what you guys have suggested. A lot of that portfolio and some of those features that are available in the Education Edition, I'm still using Minecraft EDU because Education Edition isn't available in Costa Rica yet. So a couple of questions. One, do you know when it will be available in Costa Rica?
November.
And some ways maybe that I could show assessment without having to do the whole screenshot, find the folder, drag it out. With a group of 20 kids, it gets really tedious to try to collect some of that assessment.
In answer to your second question, video making, screencasting.
Yeah.
So there's free ways you can do it, but there's also Fraps, Bandicam, not that expensive, and
Screencast-O-Matic.
yeah, Screencast-O-Matic, and just have the children make a very short video, and they only literally say to them, I want your recording for no more than 120 seconds, but you need to get all your evidence in, and that's the challenge, and they do, and then rather than you having to drag folders out and everything, you've got this lovely little collection of videos which you can then post online. You give your kids a global audience, and
Right.
everyone else sees the evidence that you've collated.
Yeah.
Plus, it helps the kids to present, articulate. They have to get them to write a little script first, so there's your literacy. There's so many things you can do just by creating that small video.
And to answer your first question, we're committed to making Minecraft's Education Edition accessible, including geographic accessibility. So we'd love to bring it to Costa Rica. I don't have a date to share right now, but come and find me after, and I'll let you know what we're doing there.
You can, by the way, since you have the EDU version, change the screenshot folder to on the desktop.
To the desktop, yeah.
Mhm.
There's
That's
still
what
like
I've
20
done. I found it
desktops that I gotta
amazing.
go around and
Right.
grab
Yeah.
them from.
I just
Yeah.
teach them to use Google Classroom
Okay.
or
and then they can
Microsoft,
upload it
and they
as
upload
well.
it. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Daniel, right away. Let's go for that.
Thanks.
Hi there. So I talked
Hey.
to Stephen a little bit about this earlier, but I think there's a lot of media around how Minecraft's a great tool to teach coding. You can't mod in this.
Correct. Modding
Yeah.
is not supported in Minecraft Education Edition.
So as a coding teacher, computer science teacher, maybe Diane could speak to more on this too, I struggle to commit to Minecraft Education Edition. If you can't teach the elements of coding as well for those ages that are old enough, why invest?
Diane, you want to touch on that?
Who, me?
No, she
Oh,
mentioned
Diane,
me,
sorry. I
so
was
she called me
like,
out.
no.
So I don't do a lot with coding, and what I do, we're actually using the Minecraft EDU previous product. However, something that I do at the very basic level is I have the students, and this would work in any version, any type. It would work in Education Edition, and we screencast it. I have the students teach lessons on how to do something like a skill that I would need if I were going to survive in survival mode. And they all teach us a lesson, but they have certain elements they have to include, which basically we use as like analogies for the concepts of computer science. So if I have to keep doing a same repetitive set of tasks a bunch of times, and then that's going to be part of my bigger program, we use that to describe loops. So can you do the actual coding in the game as it stands right now? I'm not an expert and couldn't speak to that, but we do some foundational stuff with computer science concepts in there. So it's not a completely lost cause, and like I said, you could use it in any version. I'm kind of keeping an eye on what the future holds in terms of features and additional things that get put into the product, which of course I don't work for Microsoft, despite the shirt. I can't speak to.
Yeah. I have one more thing to add to that, but it's too long-winded, so catch me after.
And also, Redstone.
Yeah, I was going to say, so there's other ways
I think
to...
the idea of redstone and stuff, I'm just trying to, find myself looking forward about, the prospects of Minecraft Education Edition, but, I'm like, well, what's the difference between teaching concepts like that on Scratch, that's free, or doing Minecraft? And if I have to wait for the licenses to fill out 90 computers, then maybe I should wait. Or if there's hopefully plans to allow that to be another creative way to use the Education Edition, because until then, I feel like it's limited only to language arts, history, other elements that are extremely important, but...
For what it's worth, I teach game design and development, and kids are creating
Really good.
games in the Education Edition.
Yeah.
A lot of Redstone. I'm, like you, excited about the possibilities of coding and hope, and I believe there will be, if I know correctly, I feel like I've heard that might be on the roadmap. I don't know that. Daniel will answer better than me. But if we can get command blocks in there, it would be awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys very
Command
much.
blocks.
Thank you. Okay, unfortunately, I've been told we're out of time, but we'd love to chat with both of you, so we'll sit over here
Yeah,
and
we'll
make
stick
time
it
to
out.
answer your questions.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. Please give one more
Thank
round
you.
of applause for our panelists. And come see us downstairs in 201C, and we'll get you into Minecraft. Thanks so much.